He's the most unusual candidate in the Republican presidential primaries. A 38-year-old entrepreneur who's not held public office before. He's an avowed supporter of President Donald Trump, and he's managed to create as much controversy in the last few weeks. Joining me to discuss Vivek Ramaswamy, the outlier in the US Republican primaries, is Pramit Pal Chaudhuri of the Eurasia Group. Pramit, welcome back to the News9 Plus show.
Sure. Glad to be here.
What do you reckon are Vivek Ramaswamy's chances in the Jan 15th Iowa caucuses?
Pretty small, and we can see that he's already dropped TV ads. He's cut his TV ad spend in Iowa, and I believe New Hampshire as well. He was spending about $200,000 or so a few months ago on TV ads. He's now dropped that to about $5,000 to $6,000. Right. That's normally a sign that he knows that he's not going to do very well.
Right.
So he's lowering expectations across the board that I don't expect to do well. And the polling evidence would seem to back that up.
Right.
He's fallen to about 5% of Republican primary voters saying that they would vote for him.
Right, but he was at a high 15, I guess, a couple of weeks back, and he's what explains this alarming drop in his popularity?
Well, I think the main reason is that the arrival of Trump, the fact that Trump has formally made a decision to rejoin the primary. Because as you correctly said, he in many ways, among all of the candidates, is closest to Trump in what he says and what he does. So he has positioned himself as the non-establishment person.
Right.
He's independently wealthy. He doesn't ask for money from anybody. He has, should we say, endorsed a lot of the more extreme right-wing conspiracy theories about the January insurrection, about immigration being about trying to push white people out of America and so on, all these illegal migrants coming from the South. And so on and so forth. But he's many ways, he was Trump light. And so when Trump was not in the game, for a Trump voter, he was the closest thing I could find to that. And that's why you said he had 15%. Trump comes in, you start to see Vivek Ramaswamy supporters basically saying, why go for this guy? I'll just go for Trump.
I'll go for the main course. And joining us right now is my colleague Justin Thomas, who put the story together on Vivek Ramaswamy. Justin, there were two other candidates who were running for president in the US. One of them was Bobby Jindal several years ago, and currently there's Nikki Randhawa. Now they've both converted to Christianity. They were not Christians when they arrived in the United States. And you can argue that they probably converted for more mainstream appeal in the US. But the interesting thing about Ramaswamy is that he's not apologetic about being Hindu. And he's said that on more than one occasion. What explains this? Is it the fact that he's counting on the Indian diaspora there in the US for support?
I think if you see Vivek Ramaswamy from the moment he started off with his campaign, he has been unashamed about his background, his religion. So that shows that he has cut away from the other Indian Americans. Understand, Indian Americans are a very influential group, but not in terms of electorate, but obviously in terms of money, business, that kind of thing. So Vivek Ramaswamy has been from clear started out, and he also has a strategy where he mentions very clearly that the Bible Belt that Republican Party is based on. He tells them that my faith is not so much different from your faith in terms of expecting God, in terms of what you believe in. So he has offered an alternate within that party, which has struck chord with many Christians out here in that Midwestern region of America. So he has clearly struck a chord, but obviously again his ethnic background works against him to an edge, that he understands that he is someone who can be with Trump, who can be back Trump, because he's the only candidate backing Trump, supporting Trump, whereas others are attacking him. So that line he has taken very clearly, which indicates that there's life beyond this presidential race, where he has a future in American politics, and his faith will not be a barrier for him.
Right, that's an interesting point, Justin. And Pramit, do you think that, I mean, Vivek is young, right? I mean, he's 38 years old. He's an infant compared to the other candidates in the race. Do you think he's playing for the long haul? I mean, he's like there for the, not too distant future as well, in the next couple of decades maybe?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that his plan B, if you wish, is that he become part of a future Trump presidency.
Right.
That if Trump is elected, Vivek will assume that he will become a cabinet member or some sort of prominent person inside the administration.
Right.
And in many ways, one of the reasons he continues to hew very closely to the Trump line. And it's also why he's retargeted a lot of his attacks. Not about Trump, who's the front runner, obviously, but against, let's say, Nikki Haley and others, because in many ways they are the rivals for exactly the same thing. Trump is so far ahead of everybody else that it is almost guaranteed he will be the Republican candidate if he decides to be so.
Right.
So everybody else is really looking for what are the slots in the administration that I could potentially get. So for Ramaswamy, yes, I've got a certain profile. I've already got a certain base. If I get into a position in the government, I can claim, therefore, that I've got the experience, and I'll continue to be in the profile. I'll remain a public figure if I'm in the government and I get something prominent. We saw Nikki Haley do a very similar thing with the first Trump administration, right, where she took a number of different positions, ambassadorship to the UN and so on, just to build up her CV, if you wish, and maintain a certain profile. Because once the election is over, or even once the primaries are over, Ramaswamy will disappear. Right? There will be no public, there'll be no media attention on the man. So being part of the next administration, as you said, he's very young, he's wealthy, that positions him for the next presidential run, where Trump cannot run because there's a two-term limit, right, under the U.S. Constitution. So therefore, then the field is open, and if there's still a space for a Trump candidate or Trump-like candidate, then Ramaswamy is very clearly positioning himself to be that person 5 years from now.
News9 Plus. Download now.